Hey guys, Sean Bougie, surplusfundsriches.net. Welcome to the live webinar. I know some of you guys are here early, and that's great. Move some stuff around here and make this a little easier. Remember, any and all questions are fine. Let's see, I can't get the transition here. And if somebody can tell me you can hear and see me okay, that would be great. What I'm seeing so far, some folks have jumped in fairly early, just seeing how it all works. Rick says hi. Tessa Guard, hello from Raleigh. Hey, Tessa, you're not that far. Cab Duke, let's see what you have to say here. Hello, everyone. Kim Cannon, hello from Texas. John O'Hanlon from Pennsylvania. Good evening, everybody. Hello, James from Hollywood, Florida. Holy cow, it's rolling, guys. A lot of interaction. Hello, looking good. Good evening. Can see and hear. That's great. Ann Russell, hear you fine. Yes, Atlanta, Georgia. Just so you guys know, I'm actually live. I'm responding. Hi, guys. All good here. Hey, that's great. Before we get started, remember, it's live question and answer webinar. I did see, hey, Anthony. Hey, Anthony, shoot me an email later, buddy. I'm going to get up with you tomorrow. We're working on the first one for you here. And that's great news. So I meant to reach out today. We're finalizing some stuff on the mobile notary on that. So it's not 100%, but just to let you know. Patrick says you're good. Hello from Byron, Georgia, San Diego. That's great. Guys, two things I said I was going to go into before the wide open question and answer. Tips or tricks for greater profit. So especially if you do it on your own, honesty with the claimant is huge. And I'm reading. I made some notes for myself. Honesty with the claimant is huge. We've picked up quite a few deals, no kidding, over the years after someone else first got them under contract, but lied about the time frame or their ability to actually claim the funds. Guys, we don't poach deals. But if someone says another company is telling them that they'll retrieve the funds in a week, we'll tell them, okay, give them a week. If it doesn't work out, give us a call back. Because the lie, I'm just tired of the lies with the competitors, guys. They'll say whatever they can to get the deal under contract, not understanding they're just making people angry. There's no need to mislead people in this business. In fact, I always tell folks, under promise, over deliver, right? The other thing was insights for partners or teams. Guys, don't just work. I notice a lot of people saying where they're from, and that's cool. But whatever you do, don't just work your local state. It's online from home, all the work. So there's no need to stay local. And people will fight me on that. They'll say, hey, I've got to stay. I'm here, and that's where I want to work. Well, good for you. But there's 3,000 plus counties in the United States. That's kind of silly, right? Also, concentrate, if you purchase from us, guys, first concentrate on the ebook. Read those materials twice for comprehension. Do or follow along those file examples at the end of it. Then go to the resources page linked from it. Watch the videos and all that. But also, during that time, when you're learning the actual process, stop watching other videos that I've put online. I know that sounds crazy. I'd love for you guys to see all my videos on YouTube. But while you're learning, don't worry about watching that unless it's an announcement I've put out, okay? Because it's just going to pull you to the side. And look, it's natural for people to procrastinate. A lot of people procrastinate. They don't mean to. They're good people. But there's a shiny object over here. And they get pulled aside. So try to concentrate on just the training material at first. San Francisco, Rob from Florida. Hello, Sean. Ohio. Hear you fine. Wait a minute. Mr. Fred, I think I know who you are. If you are Fred, if you're already a member, I got some news for you too. You got another one in the contract. Guys, the girls are on fire right now getting stuff on contract. It's a really good time to be in the business. Somebody also mentioned a little bit earlier, before I open this up, sorry. Somebody also mentioned a little earlier, I'm just here to see how all this works. Probably not the best place for you to do that, just because this is a wide open question and answer, kind of a flowing half an hour setup. I'm not here to rah-rah you and try to make you buy anything. If you go to surplusfundsriches.net, you can see the banner probably right in front of me here, surplusfundsriches.net. If you go there, there's two things you need to do. One is there's a free video training. It's called free training. Click on that. Got to put your info in. So what? You can unsubscribe whenever you want. It'll drop you on a page where you can get a manual and watch the 1 hour plus free training, give you a great idea of what you've got if you did it on your own or if you partnered with us, what you would be doing. So that's a really, I mean, solid overview. It's an hour plus video. It's fantastic. Also, though, while you're there, click on the programs or products page. Check out the programs because we partner. So we only allow people to come on board once a month. Usually it's 1 or 2 days. In March, it's going to be March 6th and 7th, starting at 10 a.m. Eastern Time on the 6th. That's when you can actually pick it up again. There's some crazy good deals. If you go to that page, it's a products page or programs page from the website. If you go there, there's a download that goes over all the different programs, and there's a link that goes straight to a page that goes over all the pricing, products, and special bundles we're going to have. So that's two things you got to do. Spend some time on the site, guys. Look around. Do your due diligence for of course, right? Always do your due diligence. But you're going to find amazing information on there. I can hear you fine. San Francisco. A lot of California people here tonight. Cannot hear you, says Melanie. Hi, Sean from Reno. People need to check the state laws. They are not the same. That's right. Refresh if your volume is up. That's right. Yeah, every state's a little different, but Rainy Nation, I'm guessing that's how to pronounce that. Sorry if it's not. Something you really need to understand is, like, for instance, when you get our DIY book or our full ebook and you want to do it on your own, we teach you, of course, the assignment method and the finder method. We also teach you the structured buyout method. And that is what we use when people partner with us. So when we call somebody, we're going to say, hey, lay it out. How much is there? We don't have to lie about where it is or anything like that. How much is there? How much we're going to, what the financials are, how much we give them. And we also give them, out of the total we're going to give them, we give them 10% of the gross amount held by the surplus funds, the surplus funds holder. We give them 10% of the gross amount held, up to $10,000, within 10 business days after they sign our contracts and receive them back. And we use a mobile notary and FedEx. That's a big deal. It really locks them down, and we give them the rest when we successfully get it out. We always use attorneys. Even in areas where you don't need an attorney, we always use an attorney. The result is we have a lot more credibility. We get a lot more deals under contract because of that, because people need the money, right? And it gets us out of the finder laws. We are participating in the retrieval. We're no longer just a finder. So we don't fall under a lot of statutes the rest of you guys do. Whittier, California, another Californian. Sherry says, hey, Sean. Abdul, I've been struggling. Is my goal to estimate then treat as a regular file by finding ownership and debt? Yes, that's exactly right, Abdul. Just take it step by step. Just take it step by step. It's not that hard. Jason, is there a way to know when the working files list updates? Jason, it's daily. Now, I'll tell you what, I'm glad you said that because some people are making this mistake. So, guys, what we do to make sure that if you partner with us, we want to make sure that you don't research debt against a property. You got to do that. We don't want you to waste time doing that on something that's already been turned into us. So we update the active working files list, which you have access to, and you can search by your case name, right? So we update that every day. But Jason, a lot of people do kind of a silly thing. They download that list and they think, I'm going to keep looking at it. It looks like it hasn't changed. It's a new list every day. So we can't go into your computer and update that. Update that PDF, okay, or rather Excel, whatever it is. I don't know. Jeff does all that, but we can't do that. So you have to. It's updated every night and it's changed out Monday through Friday. That's a great, Jason. That's a great question. Melanie, I can hear you now. Great, Philippe. I love all the programs you guys offer. Yeah, Philippe, it's really good to have you on board, man. You've been doing some work here. LOL, Rain Nation pronunciation. Lots say Regina. You are forgiven. I'm gonna say Regina then. And thank you. Hello, how does the 750 mentor program work? So that's for an hour, Kimberly. The mentorship program, we made it that expensive, $750. I think that's for an hour. Jeff can correct me if I'm wrong. We made it crazy expensive because, frankly, when you get a program for us, you get the step-by-step ebook, has a link with additional videos and more information on the resources page. You also get email-based support through Jeff, my partner. Now, he's going to lead you back to the book if you're asking questions that are answered easily in the book or in the frequently asked questions section or anything like that. But you really don't need the mentor. program. Mentor is just a wide open, if you want to call in. The only time I've seen that successfully used from people is folks that want to scale up. They're creating a business and they just want to pick our brains. And we're very, in that case, they have a set of questions they've said to us and sent to us ahead of time, so that when we have the conversation, we're really all on the same page, and that works great. But as far as learning how to do it, just starting on your own, or if you're gonna partner with us, there's no point in using that mentorship. And this is someone who, not only do we actually work with you guys, and that's where the majority of our money comes from, is actually partnering with you guys and putting deals together. So we have vested interest, right, in you succeeding. But not only do that, but obviously we have programs that we sell. So it's kind of like two different hats we're wearing. We're training people at the same time. So it would be silly for me to lead you away from that unless it was the truth. It's unnecessary unless you're planning on scaling up or getting really in depth on some new method that you're going to try out. Hope that answered your question, Kimberly. Johnny, which one of your programs shows us the states that pay out quickly? Johnny, we don't really. Let me explain something. And that, man, you guys are asking some fantastic questions. Look, it's not really a state thing. It's counties. Okay. For instance, we will not even work Philadelphia, Pennsylvania. The DART program, Defendant Asset Recovery Team, handles that. Last time we did a deal in there with our attorney, it took 2 years, over 2 years, to get paid out on the last deal we did in there. Literally, our claimant was in really poor health. We thought he was going to die before we got the money out. And I'm not being facetious here. There's a couple counties like that. It's not really states. It's counties more so than states. We don't work Colorado. It's a pain in the tail. It takes a little longer to get paid out. In some counties in Pennsylvania, it takes a little longer to get paid out. In a lot of Texas, it takes a really long time to get paid out in California. Again, don't just work your local area. That's silly, okay? But it takes a lot of time to get paid, because, especially on the tax side, because on the tax side in California, they wait a year from when the deed was recorded from the tax foreclosure before they'll look at claims for the money. No kidding. So it takes a long time to get paid there. Frank Fielder, hey, good evening, Sean. Good evening. Hey, Sean, I finally made it to 3 submitted files. That's great. Patience is a virtue. I'll continue to push 100 files to you and your team to get the ball rolling even more. That's fantastic. Can't thank you and Jeff enough. Yeah, no problem. And Anthony, again, shoot me that email, because I believe we've got one of yours under contract here, which is amazing, because typically we don't do that with just 3 submitted. I think I'm thinking of the right person. CRS. Can you elaborate on your ultimate finder program? Is it a program tailored to unclaimed monies? Yes, that is a state unclaimed finder program. That is available as an add-on if you buy another program. It's basically designed to teach you guys how to work states, particularly those that require you to have their disclosure signed, and how you can get yours done first and work that. It's a great technique. Regina. I found money under my name in a number of states. Florida wants proof on me with a Florida ID, which I don't have, nor do I remember the address. Suggestion. Nor do I remember the address. Regina, I'm going to come back to you. I'm going to ask you to say, was it surplus funds or just unclaimed money? Jason Matthew. So we should update daily before working, correct? Just no, when you're ready, if you get a list or create a list, depending on which program you have, if you get that list and you're about ready to research debt, then pop the newest one open and just search by names. You can do, Control F, right, to find it, and plug in the last name of the case you're working. It'll break down county and state too, so you'll know if it's the same county and state with the name, and that'll give you an idea of what you're working with there. Good question. Tessa, should I use a different phone for calling, or can I mix it on my phone too? So I'll tell you a secret, Tessa. God, this is a great webinar. There's a lot of nuggets in here, or you're going to get a lot of nuggets, I should say. Call your phone company. So with mine, for instance, I have 2 phone numbers on this one phone. Both of them will ring to this phone, and it'll tell me which is which. If you call your provider, they can usually set that up. I'm on Verizon. I did that because we have a number of systems where we've duplicated our efforts. like with our texting system or some other things. So we needed to use more than one number to verify. So that's why I have two numbers. It's not a built-in burner. It's just two numbers on the phone. I would give people a different phone number. The other thing I would do is I would tell them when they can call you and what time zone you're in. Hey, give me a call back. I'm available from this time and this time, and give them the time zone. If you do not set boundaries, three things are going to happen to you. They're going to run over you. They're going to take control of the situation, right? They're going to have zero respect from you, okay? And they're going to test you and call you all the time. Now, with my company, we actually have after hours, they also have a toll-free number they can call. After hours, that's manned 24/7 by live people. I'm thinking about going to AI on that. I know. But I kind of like having a live crew with that. Again, I don't think I would put it on your regular phone line if you can help it. Do you need a lawyer in Georgia? Okay, so Kev, I'm actually probably not the guy to ask that, and I'll tell you why. We teach you guys, well, you've got to check statutes in the state, right? But we teach you how to use assignment methods, which are assignment methods, contingency slash finder methods, and the structured buyout method. We always use attorneys. So we use it in every state, every county. No kidding. I have a central attorney. We get a power of attorney and we use our structured buyout. Power of attorney is to that central. Part of that power of attorney to that central attorney is the ability to hire attorneys in other states. We give a little piece to the central attorney and then we pay also the frontline attorneys. Not crazy, crazy expensive. Sometimes it's a little expensive, especially in airship. Not crazy expensive, but we just believe in having a lawyer everywhere. And I know there's a guy out there that sells a program that's a lawyer that tells people not to use a lawyer, and I still can't figure that out. But to answer your question, I think in tax you could probably use some type of a finder agreement or assignment agreement in Georgia, but check the statutes. Do not trust me on that. I'm a little removed from that end of it at this point, right? I know how everything works, but I'm watching the forest so that my supervisor can handle the trees. And it works best that way. Jason, and one more question about the list. Is the list referencing all books? 8, 16, strike, etc. Anything that's national, anything that's a surplus. If you're on a surplus program, that list has all the different surpluses on it. National surplus funds, panning, tax sale strike force, yes, Premier 16, all that. Because what we don't want to happen is you guys to turn in a file that you already have. Because I don't care who you are. You could be my brother. If I said, hey man, thanks for turning it in, but we already have it. You'd be like, oh, okay. And later going, did he just take the file from me? Now you know up front if we have the file or not. The other thing, one other thing about the list. We don't take them off there ever. So if the people say, I'm working with others, or we can't reach them, or we've already pulled the file out, we leave it on there because we don't want it to stay on there. I got to check this to make sure I'm not. Okay. Sorry, guys. My goal is to partner with you. That's great. You can get started March 6th. You'll be able to pick up the National Surplus Funds partnership only version for $397. It's stupid cheap. And there's also going to be some, I wouldn't just look at that if you can afford it. I always tell people don't buy anything that's going to put you in a bad position. But we do have incredible bundles on there that have other partnerships, programs built in. And it's nice it saves you a lot of money buying in bulk. And it's nice to have different options too. Not that you need it, but it's nice. Hi, Sean. Would you recommend that we use a structured buyout with a deed for an amount that is less than 30 grand? With a deed? Jose, I don't understand what you're saying. You're looking at when I use a structured buyout, that's to give some money up front to people that are owed surplus funds and then the rest of it when we get it out. So it's a little bit up front, more later. If you're talking about flipping property and using deeds, that's a whole different animal. Mr. Fred, how are the taxes paid on money you received? Okay, so money goes to our attorneys first who take their money out, which is great. Comes to us. We actually split it out with the claimant. You do not have to do that. You can have your attorney do that. I do not have to report the money I paid the people, and I don't. And we tell them that up front. It's a self-reporting thing. I am going to report to the IRS what I make. Obviously, I'm going to take all I have a Chapter S corporation. I'm going to take all my expenses out of that through my CPA. But that's how I pay taxes. I pay it through my company. Chapter S or S corp is kind of a pass through, but it gives you a lot of different abilities that you don't wouldn't normally have. I prefer that over an LLC, but always check with your tax professional before you decide on how to structure your company. If you decide you need that, if you're partnering with us, you don't. I'll 1099 you guys for your income at the beginning of the year from last year. Regina, I can attest to Philly sucking. I'll get some quick context. Regina, the reason that they're so horrible, besides the fact that it's Philadelphia, city of brotherly love, my behind. Besides that, they had a sheriff that embezzled millions of dollars. I am not sure, but I'm pretty sure part of that was in the form of surplus funds. Sent them offshore. So they set up that Philly's the only area that has the DART program in all of Pennsylvania. And it was because it was so dirty, corrupt. Okay, then which of your programs tell us which counties pay out really quickly? Johnny, we don't lead you to counties, brother. We don't do it. You can work, there are over 3,000 counties. And here's the other reason why. I'm not trying to avoid your question. I'm not trying to whatever. It changes. Right now I have a county in North Carolina near me. That county, the clerk of the court changed. Clerk of the court, by the way, in a lot of counties across the nation, if you're working with a clerk, is they're voted in. Okay, they're not appointed. They're not pulled up the ranks, and oftentimes they are not required to be an attorney, so they don't know what they're doing. This county that I'm talking about in North Carolina used to be one of the easiest ones to work. This new person came in, decided it's going to change everything. Now the claimants have to go in person to pick up the check. Okay, now 4 years from now, I think she's been in office too. I think it's a 6-year term here. I'm not sure, but 4 years from now, it's going to be a different clerk, probably a different situation. That's another reason why we don't go. This one takes longer. This one takes shorter. This one, because you know what? It's going to flip a week later when somebody new gets in, and then you're going to be angry with us because we said it pays out quick, right? But let me tell you something. From the date a claim is made, with or without an attorney, and when I say a claim is made, that means a claim was turned into the county or a motion was done with the clerk or whoever at the court in those states. And there are quite a few that require an attorney to handle and have a motion for the person. North Carolina is one of those, by the way. It takes about a month for a court to review a claim. I know there's guys online telling you you're going to get paid in a week. Bull crap. It takes a month just to get them to review it once you turn it in, or for the attorney, if it's a motion state, to get on the docket and get in front of them. Once they grant it, it can take a month to get it out. There are 2 states that there's extra steps that can take longer, sometimes not. Jersey has a TFU, some kind of weird unit. They can sometimes really drag tail. Not all areas in Jersey. And again, that's why we can't really name counties. It's going to change too. But anyway, some of those take a while with the TFU, something unit. And then some areas in Arizona actually require a second, like Board of Commissioners or something to review it. So that can take some extra time. Not always. Is New York City worth working? Brooklyn, Manhattan, Queens, Bronx. Yeah, it actually opened up a little bit. Just so you know, it used to be one of the things we do when we get people under contract, we get the contract back. We got a power of attorney now to our attorney. We have the attorney's paralegal call and double check that the funds are still being held and no claim has been made. Now, what happened to us in New York is we knew the money was there, and they'd say, call us back tomorrow. And we call back tomorrow and go, nope, we don't have it. And we figured out what they were doing. They were literally sending it to the state that day and then going, sorry, we don't have any money. I'm not kidding you. That has stopped. So yes, you can work it as long as you can get a list, you know. Hey, Sean, long time no see. Hey, Satina. All right, question, clarification, home address, unclaimed funds from a job. Oh, listen, you don't have to have a local driver's license in that state to claim it. They're going to make you jump through a couple of more hoops, but you should be able to prove who you are. If nothing else, see if you can look up some old W-2s or something like that, Regina, and that'll have your old address on it, if that helps. Jimmy, is there a way to know generally what information you require and need from me to give to you when your partner before you sign up, or do you have to sign up to know what you're getting into? We are very open, Jimmy. If you go to surplusfundsriches.net, click on free training, watch that video. It'll break it down on what your responsibility is. You have to get a list or create one, depending on which program you have. Not hard to do either way. Take that list and research the debt and watch that video. I go right through it in front of you. Research the debt. Make sure there wasn't additional debt against the property at the time of the sale, a lien, a mortgage, a HELOC loan. Fill out our worksheet with that information. It's a fillable PDF on the resources page. Double check that we don't already have it. We have our active file working list, so you can look at that before you research anything and waste any time. Fill out that worksheet, turn it into us, we do the rest. Have you worked many deals in Michigan, or do you have many students in Michigan working deals? We have worked deals in Michigan. And by the way, ebb and flow, right? So, and I'm not on the front line actually watching who's turning in what. I can't really tell you who's busy doing what in what areas. I do know we're working Michigan. I know also we were the first ones to ever get a claim in Wisconsin. Philippe, will the deals board be making a comeback? Yeah, I've been looking at it. It's probably going to be up there pretty soon. Again, another video on that. For everyone's information in Philly, you must first file to be a registered finder in that state, and you must be approved by the Department of Taxation. Well, how many? Yes, if you're going to be a finder. When we use our structured buyout and we participate in the retrieval and always use attorneys, we don't fall under those regulations, just so you know. I know it's new to you. I know you're going to think I'm crazy. I'm telling you. It's a tax deed surplus under 30 grand. Well, I mean, you can work it yourself if you'd like, Jose. It's whatever the minimum is for the program if you're going to partner with us. Thanks for explaining about Philly. You got it, Charity. Thanks for warning about North Carolina, Charity. Okay. Info on states is very helpful. You got it. Amber Newton. In Florida, it gives you 120 days. So if the first 60 days there's no sign of disbursement, does that mean no money is owed to anyone else? Amber, the 120 days is for creditors, not for claimants. You have to wait 120 days on tax sales in Florida to allow for creditors to make a claim. Once the 120 days, this is Florida only. Once the 100, and Florida is a separate program for us in our systems because it's that different. Once the 120 days is up, if there was a creditor with a second claim, they can no longer make a claim. It's a beautiful law. It's designed to get rid of creditors that aren't standing up and making their claim. But that's the 120-day rule is for creditors. Yes, the seller will have to wait for that 120s to go up, but the 120 is designed to get rid of creditors that aren't going to show up so that they can give the money back. No kidding. It's a beautiful thing. Hi, Sean. Hi. Thank you. Great question about the list. Sean, you said you never take any file off the list. Did I read on the updates page of the ebooks that you were then removed from that after 2 years? What I mean by that, Jen, you're right. So there's about 2 years worth of deals on there. And that's, hey, we're not going to take something you submit if it's from a list that's 2 years old anyway, unless you confirm the funds are being held. But we don't take it off if we claim it. If somebody else made a claim, if the money's gone, sometimes, it's eaten by a creditor or whatever. If we run into all that, we still leave it up on the list so you don't turn it into us and waste your time, right? I can't figure out what money is owed on the property by the previous owner. Amber. If you've got our program, read the ebook and use your support as outlined. But if you do that step by step, do the file examples, please, Amber, in the ebook. You shouldn't have an issue. Hey, Lisa, nice to see you. David Marino, hello from Florida. Very interested. That's great. Now, listen, David, I've said this before. I'm kind of running out of time here. Our programs are usually national in nature, and I tell people, do not work your local area just because you're there. That's silly, right? It's national, over 3,000 counties. Don't pigeonhole yourself into just your state. Having said that, if you wanted to work Florida, that's available in bundles only because it's a separate program. You can't work Florida with our national, for instance, because the statutes are so different. But that's just a heads up. Everybody here, go to surplusfundsriches.net. When you get an opportunity after this, right? First of all, like this channel so you'll know when we're going to do this. We do this every 2 weeks pretty much. But go to our website, watch the 1 hour video, sign up. You can unsubscribe whenever you want, guys. It's the big boy, big girl table here. So just sign up to watch the 1 hour plus free training video and get the manual on that. Watch that. It'll give you a great idea of what you're getting into. And your job as on your end is just part of it if you decide to partner with us. That's explained in there too. Would you ever plan to offer the panning for hidden surplus funds as a standalone program? I have most of the programs in the elite accumulated over a few years. Maybe sometimes, Frank, we usually do that about once a year, maybe the beginning of next year, but not right now. Here's the thing. So that program, in my opinion, is worth 1,500 to 2,000 bucks. No joke. So when we've got it in a 1,500 or excuse me, or even a $1,000 bundle, it's still a deal. We usually make the bundles in such a way that people can have multiple programs in that bundle and still have a deal. I understand where you're coming from, and I'd wait though if that's something you're concerned about. David, how is it in the state of Florida? It's good. I so you can work mortgage and tax overages in Florida. It's a little competitive. What I would do is if you were going to work Florida, work those counties where you cannot get a list online. Our program will teach you if you're going to buy this Florida program that's in bundles only. Our program will teach you how to also request lists. I would go after counties that don't put the lists online so that you're going after less competition because a lot of people are afraid to call or contact the counties. I figured out how not to wait for a list to be posted. That's great, Amber. Rick, if I opt to utilize the free skip traces offered in a surplus 50/50 and I subsequently submit a file, am I obligated to submit the file under surplus funds 50/50? If that's the only program you got, that's the only program you can submit with. But Rick, once you submit a file one way, that's it. You can't turn around and go, oopsie, I couldn't find them. Can I turn this in another way? No, you can't do that. But if you have a different program and you haven't turned it in yet, use the other program if you'd rather use the other program. Would you just go to the Department of Deeds and ask for the list? Tessa. Hey, Tessa, no, that's not where you're going to get the list of surplus funds. Watch our free video. I actually show you me getting lists online. Surplusfundsriches.net. Watch that free video. It's in there. And literally, I show you getting lists. Is there an IRS lien but was not included in the minimum owed to the county? Can the IRS make their claim after the sale, or do they have to be part of the suit? They have to be paid first, Jason. So, like for instance, if they don't show up and there's 50 grand in there and they're owed 60 grand, the owner can't walk in and walk out with 50 because they didn't show. The court's going to go, no, all of it plus is owed to the IRS. We're not giving it out. So until that lien expires, IRS tax liens are typically 10 years. They're the only ones that are going to get paid on that if there's more owed to the IRS than there is being held. How long can it take for a deal to go on contract once a file is submitted and accepted? It depends, Laura. We've had people not get back in touch with them for a month, two, maybe even a little bit more, just because we were going after heirs. We've had people where we made the call the first day and got them under contract. How can I check to see what program I purchased years ago? It'll be in your email. We sent you the initial content as in PDF format. It will have been sent from my personal email, team, T-E-A-M, Bougie, B as in boy. There's going to be a replay up, guys. B as in boy, U-I, G as in George, E, team Bougie at gmail.com. And you should see it in there. I cannot buy, just so you know, I can't look anything up over 2 years. My processor won't let me do it. So if you can't find it, I'm sorry to hear that. Anthony, thanks again. I'll shoot an email for the file update. Have a great night, brother. You got it. Amber, how to make sure there's money still available to claim. You can actually call and ask if there's been a claim on it. Now, some areas will not answer that question unless you have a power of attorney to work with the person. Our attorneys typically make that call for us if we're concerned about it. Once we get it under contract, we get it to the attorney. The attorney double checks our title work. We don't trust anything. Double checks our title work and make sure that claim hasn't been made and the money's still being held and the dollar amount. Guys, we're overtime. I very much appreciate everybody coming here. I can't say it enough. Guys, we put a lot of free resources on the page, surplusfundsriches.net. Go there. Watch the free video. Get the free training. Get the free list, example list, just to see what they look like, right? Go ahead and subscribe to this channel. You'll get notifications on upcoming webinars, and you'll be able to see a ton more video. Is it best to make calls first or send them a letter? Cab Duke. This is the last one I'm going to answer, guys. You're welcome, Tessa. We do it both. Immediately when we get it, we send them. We don't just wait to see if maybe we're going to get in touch with them so we don't have to spend on the mailing. We do them both at the same time. Thanks, guys. You're very welcome. Lisa, everybody have